Hey guys, welcome back to Turbo School. My name is Eddie, and I find it quite unusual that Volkswagen did not provide us with a rear hatch that actually popped open. It unlocks, as you can tell, by me pressing the button. Look at the light. That's all it does. You still need to grab the handle and lift the thing. I think that at the price point of this vehicle, it should not be the case. It should be able to pop up just like any car. I don't remember the last time I had to manually lift a hatch. You typically, once you lock it, it just lifts by itself. So we're gonna take care of that today. I picked up this set from ECS Tuning. It's all over the internet. It's a product that's been out for many years and people have great success with it. There are some complaints with it, but they were pretty old, so I want to see if those are still valid. We're gonna find out together. All right, this kit is pretty basic. All it is really new pivot ball mounts and the struts themselves. All right, first impression, seem pretty good quality. The ends are solid. The spring has a little play on it, which I did not expect, but that could be a design update. I'm hoping it is. Never mind. I just had this one right next to it, and all it was this seal here at the bottom was further back, so it was allowing for play. If you push the seal further into the spring, look at that, nice and solid. But yeah, you see it's just an O-ring. It just moves up and down. So just slide it back down, and then the spring is solid. All right, guys, this job is only going to entail 3 tools: a 13mm spanner, a very small flathead, and any random screwdriver. You're gonna need this in order to adjust the end joints of the new strut if necessary, but really these are the 2 that are gonna be doing the work. All right, so at first it's gonna look weird because I'm basically going to be using my head, which fits under this perfectly. I'm 6 foot tall, and I'm just good enough to like just hold it here with my head. But basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push it up with my head. I'm gonna loosen this spring clip so I can release it from the top, repeat at the bottom, and then this is gonna go. And the reason I had to support it with my head is because that strut is not gonna be strong enough to hold the weight of this. I'm trying to get under the spring and then relieve the pressure. There's one. There's 2. Okay, now we're gonna switch out the ball point. That sound. All right, here's the new ball point. Make sure you use the washer that they provided. And this one is also a 13mm. So we're gonna do bottom first, which just snaps in. There you go. And then we go to the top, and yeah, look at that. Oh, that's lined up perfect, so I don't even have to make an adjustment. All right, this side is done. Let me just push up on this O-ring to keep that in place there. There you go, nice and solid. All right, look at the factory one at the top and the ECS one at the bottom. And then here's the difference between the factory mount versus the one that ECS provided. You see it's a little shorter on the height, actually a lot shorter on the height, probably because of all the pressure from the spring would probably bend this one. Okay, I'm at a safe distance now, but let's see, because it should not work right now, but I don't remember now if when I was doing all the coating on the car when I first got it with Carista, if I had already done the coating for pop-up. So we'll find out right now. Okay, we gotta go inside and do some coating. So I'm gonna use Carista. You can use VSD, you can use OBD11, but any of those will get the job done, and there's plenty of how-tos on how to do that online. So I'm gonna use Carista real quick because that's the one that I have the membership for right now. So I'll go ahead and record a screen for that. All right, once you're connected, you're gonna hit customize, and then we wait. Then we're gonna come down all the way to the bottom. We're gonna hit trunk. And then we're gonna tap there. We're gonna hit enable and save it. And we're done. All right, coating is done, so it should work now. All right, so that's awesome. It's finally working. With that said, now let's try to address some of the concerns about people saying that these are too stiff. So it's definitely a lot stiffer to close. So let me show you guys real quick. Right there. Right here's where you have to put force. All right, so to me, that was definitely way too much force necessary in order to get this thing closed. Now keep in mind that it is winter right now, Right now in the garage is about 35 degrees, so I'm sure that doesn't help them, but considering the prior history of these things being known for being too stiff, that might just be exactly how they are. Now, they are brand new. The other thing that we have to consider is that a lot of the videos that I see online about people complaining about how stiff these things are, it's typically like right now when you first put it on and that's your first impression. Now, who's to say that in a week or 2 weeks from now, they don't soften up and it makes it a lot easier to close at that point. I actually have a few videos coming out before this one, so which is great. So it's going to give me time to give it a few weeks to use it more. And let's touch base in a few weeks and I'll tell you then at that point how long it's been and if it feels any better or not. Alright guys, so it's been 3 weeks since I installed these liftgate struts and they have gotten better. So I'm glad I decided to go ahead and wait a little bit to let them quote unquote break in, because they did in fact get softer. They don't open as harshly as before and they're also easier to close. Don't get me wrong, they are still on the stiff side, but that's what you expect when you're putting on stiffer struts that are able to then lift the weight of this liftgate by themselves. So with that said, let me give you a few angles so you have an idea. So right there is still where it gets on the stiff side, but again, it's a lot easier to push down now. All right guys, so with that said, I absolutely recommend these. These are great. I do think that they got an unfair reputation about being ridiculously stiff because everyone that was doing reviews on their installation was doing so the day of installation. These, you got to give them a few weeks to break in. Again, at this point, I'm 3 weeks into owning these and they definitely got a lot easier to close. Is it ever going to be as linear as OEM? No, it's not, because you have the strut and then at some point the springs take over. So that's never going to happen. But for what I wanted, which is a liftgate that actually pops up on its own, these do perfectly fine. And to close them, they now close a whole lot easier than they did when I first installed them. So I hope that that goes to alleviate any worry or concern you may have about that. They do get better with time and use. By the way guys, I don't know if I said it or not, but I actually bought these liftgate struts during Black Friday sales. This is not a sponsored video. I am open for sponsorship, but no, these I bought with my own money. So anyway guys, with that said, thank you all so much for watching again, and it is almost New Year's for me, so happy New Year to you guys and your families. Thank you so much.